looking at some charts here, Bitcoin has broken above the EMA 21 and the SMA 20. If you look at prior times when this crossover has happened and the breakout has happened, okay, what happens? Bitcoin goes on a tremendous run. That's what it's looking like right now. Exactly like before. You could argue that we're a little bit ahead of the game, okay, because we haven't crossed the halving event yet. So we're probably a little bit, just a few months out. We may go just like slightly upwards, not too much. But I really feel like in 2024 after halving event, just like the prior times, we will see that tremendous move. What we're seeing right now is only like tip of the iceberg. Really, it's nothing compared to what's coming. You look at how we're moving according to history, and then you bundle that with the growing fundamentals, and then you bundle that with the flight to quality and safety from the traditional markets, and then you bundle that with some really good news that's about to come. I don't see how you can be bearish at this point. I just don't. This is time to be greedy, not fearful. So here's another chart that's showing that we're at the cusp of a major breakout. And that breakout can take us, where to? I don't know, by the halving event, it could take us up to 50,000. I've seen charts that show that we could be at 40, 50,000. I've seen ones showing that we could be above our previous high at 80,000. And I've seen ones that say we could be at 135,000 by the halving event. I don't think that's going to happen by the halving event, us being at 130,000. But if I'm wrong and we do hit there, I'm not going to cry about it. I'm going to be cheering for that. And a lot of you guys will be too. Even from a chart perspective, there are a lot of charts that show that we are breaking every single moving average and all these signals and all these channels. We're breaking through, which is awesome. And here's one that kind of shows you the whole picture from start to finish is looking good. That purple, it's hard to see, but that next point, that purple point, is the point right before Bitcoin usually starts heading up in a big way. Okay, it's like a midway point. And that one is showing right around 50 to 60,000. So again, another one showing that by the halving event, we could be around that 50, 60 point. And then who knows where we will top out. And look at this. Of course, Michael Saylor wants people to know Bitcoin is the way. If you compare Bitcoin's performance with NASDAQ, which is the tech sector, since August 10th of 2020, Bitcoin is up 150% basically. NASDAQ up about 20%. So that cash pile that MicroStrategy had, if you put it into a NASDAQ, he'll be up 20%. If you put it into gold, he'll be a negative percent. But he decided to put in Bitcoin. So Bitcoin went up 147% since then. And because we are above 30,000, MicroStrategy has now broken even. In fact, he's in the green again. That's the power of DCA. So a lot of people pick on Michael Saylor, especially the traders or the naysayers, and they will say, well, MicroStrategy bought way too much Bitcoins back in the day. And you look at it, in 2021, he did. He bought a lot of Bitcoins towards the top, okay, like 40, 50,000 range. He also bought some at low points, right? Before sub 10,000, he bought one when it was below 30,000. But look at all those buys above our 30,000 mark right now. Even with all those humongous buys, he'd also bought a lot towards the bottom. So if you average all of his purchases, he's in the green already. And we're barely past 30,000. When we get back to 40, 50, 60, 80, 100, 200, MicroStrategy is going to be sitting on a ton. Well, I take that back. He's already sitting on a ton of Bitcoin, but that ton of Bitcoin will be so much more. And he doesn't even need to wait to get back to 69,000 to break even. That's the power of DCA. That's why you got to do it over time. You want to take advantage when Bitcoin is low, not when it's sky high. You want to take advantage while it's low. You think of it as a gift. You bring your cost average down, and by the time we get back to previous high, you're well into the green. And I know a lot of you guys do follow it. A lot of you guys, I just saw this morning, someone said, I'm in the green, and I've been DCAing since 2021, even towards the top. That's the power of DCA. It's the winning strategy that all investors follow. What else is going on? Well, if you compare Bitcoin to gold, you know, there's a lot of charts I've shown, and the reason why gold really went up because gold got its ETF. It took forever for gold to get it, but that was really the reason why gold started going up in a big way. But if you look at Bitcoin right now versus years of gold, because gold's been around for a long time, but yeah, we're moving pretty similar. We're moving pretty similar, and by the time Bitcoin tops out where gold pretty much is around that 2000 mark, it's marked at $2 million for Bitcoin. So once Bitcoin gets to about 2 million, that's when it kind of flattens out according to this. Is that the case or not? I don't know. Will Bitcoin ever hit 2 million? I think so. It's going to take some time. But does that mean it stops at 2 million and settles down? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Here's another one. I should have shown this one first. This one is from Dylan talking about DCA of Bitcoin, stocks, and gold from the top of 2021, November 10th. Again, Bitcoin will be up the most. Then you have gold. Then S&P 500, which barely moved. Barely moved. Again, the winning strategy is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the best performing asset class known to man, basically. If you go back from the very beginning, it doesn't matter how far you go back, really. Obviously not like the last 2 years while we were coming down. But if you go back any further, like 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 12 years, it's the best performing asset class, and it's not even close. This is why we are in Bitcoin. Flight to safety, flight to quality, flight to gains. What else is there? On-chain supply distribution. So this is pretty interesting. Most people bought Bitcoin right between this range of 26,000 and 30,000. 24 supply, 24% of the supply. That's quite interesting. You look at everyone's purchase. Obviously, some people have purchased way early, even in the single digits. Some purchased double digits, triple digits. I was in the triple digits, but then I didn't know what I was doing back then, and I got back in when in the quadruple digits. That's kind of interesting. So breaking out of 30,000, kind of like Michael Saylor, breaking out of 30,000 actually puts most people in the green. So once we start moving up to 30, 32, 35, 40, and we start trending higher, then vast majority of the people will be in green again, regardless if they DCA'd or not. But of course, the higher we go, the more people will be in the green. And eventually we will break 69,000 and everyone will be in the green. 100%, if you think about it, unless they were playing with leverage and they lost a lot. But yeah, that's just how great Bitcoin is.